Hi, Elise Dewsberry here, Artistic Director of New Musicals, Inc., and I can't believe I am starting the 6th year of my video blog on how to get no feedback from Elise. I'm going to depart a little bit from the standard and talk about something that came up because I just finished hosting a pitch conference through New Musicals, Inc., where we were giving writers the opportunity to pitch their shows to potential producers. And a lot of things came up over the course of those pitch panels that helped me learn a lot about what it is that a potential producer is looking for in a pitch to get them interested in a show. And so I thought I would talk through the things that I learned over the last couple of weekends and pass them on to you in case you get the opportunity to pitch your show. So the first thing I think to remember is that you want to start your pitch with a very concise description of who is your musical about, what do they want, and what happens because of it. And you need to get that down into just a couple of sentences. And it goes along with what I've always said, that a musical is about someone who wants something, what they do to get it, and whether they get it or not. So in order to hook me into your musical, you want to tell me right away, my new musical by the name of X is about person A who desperately wants this particular thing and goes to all sorts of X number of lengths to get it, and eventually finds out, that whatever the moral of the story is. You need to get that into a short space of time. You'll have time potentially, depending on how long you get with the producer, to introduce all kinds of other things, but you got to start there. Tell me what your musical is about. Who is it about? What do they want? One of our producers mentioned that you want to get your whole pitch down into something that would fit into a 250 word limit for a Google AdWords. Another way I like to think about it is, imagine that you were writing a blurb for an old-fashioned TV guide where people would look at the little short paragraph blurb and it would make them decide whether they wanted to see the show or not. And that paragraph had to get them interested in going, oh, I'll check that out. So that's what you're looking for, and you want to hook me on that first. Then you can go in to talk about other things. Some of the other things that I would recommend, remember that someone who's working on a new musical, it takes a lot of development and a lot of years. So they need to know that they want to spend a lot of time with you, that you are committed, that you're not a crazy person, that you're a hard worker, that you're professional, and that you're passionate about your project. So they do want to hear a little bit about you. Who are you? Why did this particular project call to you? Why must you write this show? And what is your relationship with the topic? Why are you passionate about it? So after you've said who the show is about and what they want, then why am I the person writing this show? And why am I passionate about this project and really feel that it needs to get out there into the world? Another thing that you can do is talk about, how will an audience be different at the end of the show than they were at the beginning? What are they going to take away? That's partly about your target audience too. Who are you aiming this at, and how do you expect to affect them? Now, you might think that this is only true of a serious musical, but I think it's true of anything. Even if it's a lighthearted comedy, you still expect your audience to be affected by it and to leave feeling differently. Because even if it's a comedy, the hero learns that, who his real best friends are, or there's something else going on besides just the comedy. So what is it that your audience will learn? What will they take away when they leave the show? This is also an important thing for your pitch. Some kind of a comparison is a useful, quick thing for a producer. This is sort of like, when Dear Evan Hansen meets, the Seven Dwarfs or something like that. Give them some comparison that will give them an idea of what is the tone of your piece, and how does it relate to something that's maybe already out there in the world, or how does it combine parts of something that's already out there. It doesn't mean you're comparing yourself to it, but you're saying that it's that world, and the people who like those things and that kind of a mashup are probably going to like this show. So it gives them a quick thing. The other thing I want to talk about for a moment is that sometimes you will be tempted to describe the plot of your musical to a potential producer when you first meet them. And I would strongly recommend that you really deeply consider what the difference is between story and plot. I think you do want to tell them the story, and that's what I mean when I say what is who is it about, what do they want, and then what do you walk away with, which could be seen as the theme or the moral of the story. So what is it about? That's the story. You do not want to get into the mechanics of the plot. Nobody wants to sit and listen to you say, well, he meets this girl and then they decide to go on a date together and then somebody else drops in and she gets kidnapped and then he has to go and find a gun and he has a problem. You know, as soon as you start getting into the details of the plot, you've lost me. Nobody is interested in that. Not at the pitch level. Okay? What they're interested in is your story. Who is it about? What do they want? How does it change your audience after they've seen it? Don't worry about the specific details of plot. Stick with the important conceptual thematic ideas about your story. And that leads to sort of my final thing, which is to say, remember that your pitch is not about selling your show. So you don't need to describe every aspect of it. Your pitch is not about selling the show. Your pitch is about hooking a producer enough to make them go, well, that sounds interesting. Send me more. That's your open door to now send them the script, to send them more information, to send them all of your demo recordings. You got to get their interest first. That's all. Just pique their interest, and then they might ask you for more information. So don't feel like you have to explain the entire show to them. You just have to hook them, and I think those are the things that will hook them. What is your story about? Who and what is it about? How is it going to change your audience? And what does it compare to? And why are you passionate about telling this story? Let that hook them. Now, if you get a chance to play some music, then yes, playing a demo would be great too. But again, I would say you don't want to play in a pitch situation. You probably don't want to play any more than 30 seconds to a minute of any given song. So if you have a handful of good demos, you might want to say, here's our Heroes I Want song, and then play 30 seconds to a minute of it, and then say, and here's what happens when she has to confront the evil, villain, and play 30 seconds to a minute of that song, and maybe a third. But that's all you need, because that's enough to make your producer go, oh, this is really catchy music, or wow, that's really different, or that's a unique voice, or that's really cool. They honestly don't need more than that, and you'll lose them if you play more than that. Once again, you just have to pique their interest enough so that they say, this music sounds cool, can I hear the rest of your demos? So remember that is the key when you're pitching. Just get them interested. So stick to the things that are the most important. What is your show? What and who is your show about? Why are you passionate about it? And hook them with just a little bit of really exciting music that will make them ask for more. That's at the end of the day all you want. Get them interested enough to ask to see more. So those are my hints about, if you get the chance, how to pitch your musical to a potential producer. So thanks, and we'll see you next month. Bye-bye.